Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's What's for Dinner video, we are doing a spooky Halloween themed dinner. We are going to make feetloaf, some spooky mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, Caprese Eyeballs, some witch's brew punch, and a graveyard pudding dessert. So if you are looking for some easy and delicious ideas to do a spooky or Halloween themed dinner for your family, keep watching. Okay, we're going to start out with the feetloaf, basically just a meatloaf we're going to shape into a foot. Now, I'm using my regular meatloaf recipe. I've shared this before on my channel. I'll link that video down in the description box below. You can use your favorite meatloaf recipe. So here's what I like to use for my meatloaf. In this bowl here, I've got my ground beef, and then this mixture here is milk, minced garlic, salt, pepper, Italian breadcrumbs, Worcestershire sauce, ketchup, and egg. I like to mix all of that together separately from my meat so that I'm not overworking my meat. And then I have some finely diced onion. So I'm going to combine the ground beef with all of those other ingredients, being careful not to overwork the mixture. And then for the toenails and like the ankle bone, we're going to take some of the onion and I'm just going to make little toenail shapes. All I did was take the onion that I had left over from chopping it up from the meatloaf and just peeled off some of the layers. Once my meatloaf was combined, I placed the mixture onto a baking dish that I lined with aluminum foil and sprayed with some cooking spray. All I did was just make it into the shape of a foot, and then I took the little pieces of onion, I cut them into like little half moon toenail shapes, added them to the toes of my foot, and then I took like a slice of the onion that had the rings and placed it near the other end of the foot to make like an ankle bone. And then I took some ketchup and just drizzled it right there to kind of look like blood. I'm going to place this into my preheated oven at 350 degrees, and I baked this for 45 minutes. Here's what it looked like when it was done. Doesn't it look so creepy and yucky and just so perfect for Halloween? For one of the sides, we're going to make some mashed potatoes. You could use instant potatoes. You could use potatoes and just peel them and wash them, boil them up. To make it easy on me this night, I am using these Ore-Ida Steam and Mash. I've mentioned these before on my channel. We love using these for Thanksgiving and other holidays. They are super convenient. They can be a little tricky to find. I normally find them at Walmart or Publix, and all you do is just pop the bag in the microwave for like 10 minutes. To go along with the potatoes, I'm going to use some milk, butter, salt, and pepper. Here are the finished mashed potatoes. Once I cooked the potatoes according to the package instructions, I added them to a bowl along with the butter, milk, salt, and pepper, seasoned it to taste, and just used a hand mixer until they were good and smooth, and that's it. Now, I had every intention of doing mashed potato ghosts. I saw these on Pinterest. I'll link it down below. You basically just took the mashed potato mixture, put it into a piping bag or Ziploc bag, and piped little ghosts. But I was afraid that the mashed potato mixture wouldn't go through the piping bag, and so I added some milk to a little bit of the potatoes to kind of thin it out, and I thinned it out too much and the ghost just like totally collapsed on me. So I said scratch that, and I just laid the mashed potatoes out onto a spooky platter, added a couple of peas for eyes, and my mom was like, hey, that kind of looks like a ghost. I kind of thought it looked like a mummy, so we ended up with spooky-ish mashed potatoes anyway. When things like that happen in the kitchen, don't stress, just roll with it, go with it. It's fine. Tasted delicious. Now for the Caprese Eyeballs. We've got some fresh basil, some tomatoes. I would recommend you using like a Roma tomato, so that they will fit nicely on the basil. And then we've got some of these little mozzarella balls. And then several of the ideas that I saw for this on Pinterest suggested to use black olives for like the iris of the eyeball. I'm not a black olives fan, and several people in my family aren't. So instead of doing that, I decided to use this balsamic glaze from Trader Joe's. When we make caprese, we normally like to add balsamic or the balsamic glaze, and so I thought that we'd probably like that better anyway. Now, to make these so easy, all you're going to do is lay down a piece of basil, lay down a tomato slice, add a half of the little mozzarella ball, and then just do a little dot of the balsamic glaze. If you don't have this or want to use it, you really could use anything that's black, black olives, or whatever you can find or what you've got on hand. That's it, and these are super cute. Now, the only thing though with using the glaze is that as they set for a little while, some of the irises kind of bled onto the mozzarella a little bit, but I kind of thought that that added to the spooky factor. Now, for the other side, I found these Cheetos brand macaroni and cheese box of bones. I found these at the Dollar Tree like a month ago, and I picked them up, but just last week I saw them. I can't remember if I was at Kroger or Publix where I saw them. So check your grocery store. You may be able to find these. I just cooked the macaroni and cheese according to the package instructions. And then to serve it up, I had this little plastic black cauldron. I have no idea where I got this from. I've had it for years. I wasn't sure if it was like food grade or if the warm macaroni and cheese would like melt it. So I put the macaroni and cheese into a clear bowl and then set the clear bowl inside the cauldron. Now, my mom brought some broccoli and cheese. What she did was took some frozen broccoli, steamed it according to the package instructions, and then took a couple of the Velveeta sauce packets and added that and just stirred it together. So easy, but super yummy. Next up, I made my Witch's Brew punch. Just 3 ingredients, really easy. We've got some orange soda, Sprite. You could also use ginger ale or 7-Up, whatever you prefer. And then we've got some orange sherbet. Now, I did like a half a recipe, so I used 1.5 liters of the orange soda and Sprite and about a half a container of the sherbet. Make sure your Sprite and orange soda are nice and chilled. You're going to add that to your punch bowl. And if you're doing this for a bigger crowd, I would use like a full 2 liter of orange soda, a full 2 liter of Sprite, and a full container of the orange sherbet. I would suggest you putting this together about 10 or 15 minutes before you plan on serving it so that the sherbet has a chance to melt. Finally, we're ending our dinner with something sweet. I'm making my graveyard pudding dessert. I've made this for years and years and years, but it's not, just my recipe. I've seen this all over Pinterest and the internet. Super easy to put together. Here's what I'm going to use. First, I've got some chocolate pudding mix. I'm using the instant. Now, I'm going to do like an 8x8 pan, so I'm using a family size package. If you're doing a 9x13, I'd use 2 of the family size. We're going to need some Oreo cookies. I'm using the Food Lion brand, either's fine. And then we need some milk. How much milk you will need depends on the instructions on your pudding packet. And then for the decorations for the graveyard, really you can use whatever you prefer, what you've got on hand, what you can find. I've got some of the Brock's Autumn Mix that has like the pumpkins and candy corn, some gummy worms, some black decorating gel, and then I have some of the little cheapy plastic spider rings, have some of these peep ghosts, and then for the tombstones, you can really use a variety of different things. I have this cupcake set that I got at Walmart, I think last year, and they have little tombstones on them. You could use those. What I typically do though is use these Milano cookies, and then I will take some of that black decorating gel and just write like RIP for the tombstones. So to assemble this, we're going to start out by making our pudding. Just follow the instructions according to your package. Once I have the pudding mixed up, I'm going to pour it into my serving dish. I like to use a glass 8x8 or 9x9 dish just so you can kind of see the different layers, but you could use whatever serving dish you prefer. You could also do individual servings, so you could do these in little mason jars or like little plastic see-through cups. Next, I'm going to take my Oreo cookies. I removed the cream filling and crushed up the cookies. Now, I have made this in the past where I've just kind of felt lazy and I just crush up the cookies with the white filling. It doesn't really matter either way. I'm going to spread those out over the pudding. And next, I'm going to add the tombstone. So like I mentioned, you could use cupcake toppers, but I like to use the Milano cookies, and I just write RIP with the gel. I mean, really, you could write whatever you want, but I like to stick with the RIP. I feel like it fits well on the cookie. Once I've written that on there, I do like to let them sit for just about 5 minutes so that that gel hardens up. And then I'm just going to stick those into the pudding and Oreos. Now I'm just going to finish decorating the graveyard. There's no real rhyme or reason. And like I said, just use whatever you can find. This time of year, Walmart, Target, other grocery stores in their like Halloween sections, a lot of times they'll have a little baking section, and you can find all different kinds of things that you can use. Little candy bones, you can find Frankenstein's skulls, all kinds of things. So just do what you think looks nice. This is a great thing to get your kiddos involved in and have them help decorate. They really have a good time, and it is delicious. I know it's really simple, but the pudding mixture with the Oreos are so yummy. Here's a picture of my plate. I've got my Feetloaf, broccoli cheese, eyeball caprese, macaroni and cheese, my mashed potatoes, and my witch's brew punch. Dinner was delicious, and we had so much fun eating and then watching Hocus Pocus 2. All right, that is it for today's video. I hope this gave you some inspiration for your own Halloween-themed spooky dinner. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.